first day after the war. We heard the songs of a wedding party. We saw a soft light coiling around the young blades of grass. At first we hesitated. Then we saw her footprints. Her face emerged, then her eyes of freedom. She woke us up with a smile, saying, "What day is this that comes so suddenly?" We said, "It is the first day after the war." Then, without waiting, we ran to the open spaces, ululating to the mountains and the pathways, calling people from all the circles of the earth. We shook up the old man, demanding a festival. We asked for all the first fruits of the season. We held hands with a stranger. We shouted across the waterfalls. People came from all lands. It was the first day of peace. We saw our ancestors traveling tall on the horizon. This is further biographical information about Kunene. Kunene is best known for his Zulu poetry, much of which he has translated into English. His two Zulu epics, Emperor Shaka the Great, written in 1979, and Anthem of the Decades in 1981, are widely recognized as masterful works and are considered his great literary achievements. While Kunene utilizes the oral traditions of Zulu literature and incorporates Zulu culture, religion, and history into his works, his poetry is also noted for its focus on Pan-African and universal concerns, believing that the function of literature is not entertainment, but primarily to teach social values and serious philosophical concepts. Kunene frequently addresses political, ethical, and aesthetic issues in his work. Mzizi Kunene was born in Durban on the 12th of May 1930, and he died on the 11th of August 2006. He started writing when he was 11. He obtained a BA, a Bachelor of Arts in Zulu, and an MA, a Master of Arts in Zulu Poetry, and he won the Bantu Literary Competition in 1956. His writing was banned by the apartheid government, so he left for London to study at the School of Oriental and African Studies in 1959. Whilst there, he became the main representative for the African National Congress in Europe and the United States. He became a professor of African literature at the University of California, Los Angeles in 1975 and remained there for nearly 2 decades, retiring in 1992. Kunene returned to South Africa in 1992, where he taught at the University of Natal until his retirement. UNESCO, the United Nations Economic, Social and Cultural Organization, made him Africa's Poet Laureate in 1993, and in 2005 he became South Africa's first Poet Laureate. It is important to note that we make changes, transformational changes in the world, not just as politicians, but we can do this through arts and culture. As a poet, he got an incredible opportunity not just to represent South Africa, but to represent Africa internationally. So that is something for our aspiring poets and writers to remember. Back to the poem. About this poem, Kunene wrote this poem whilst South Africa was still in the grips of an apartheid regime, but he was imagining what life would be like beyond the struggle. It is part of a group of poems that make use of recurring images of harvest festivals, celebration, dawn, light, flowers, and birdsong. A poet laureate is a poet who is honored for his or her achievements, and a poet who is also appointed for life by an English sovereign, the British government, as a member of the royal household, and normally they are expected to compose poems for national occasions. So it would be a huge honor and responsibility when you are given this award. Here are some exam type questions on first day after the war. Number 1. Discuss the tone of the poem, quoting to support your answer. Number 2. What mood does this poem create? 3. Who is the she referred to in line 6? 3.2. What other reference is made to her in the poem, and how is this significant? 4. Explain the significance of the last line of the poem. Identify 3 images of celebration and explain their effectiveness. Which image in this poem most strongly speaks of peace? Quote from the poem to justify your answer. First Day After the War was originally written in Zulu and then translated by the poet into English. Here are 5 exam type questions. They will not necessarily appear in the exam, but they're taken from past year papers and give you an indication of the type of questions that might appear. Number 1, identify the theme of this poem. 2, what do the words young blades of grass refer to in the context of the poem? Number 3, identify one example of personification in the poem and explain its effectiveness. Number 4, explain the significance of soft light in this poem. Number 5, mention 2 elements of the poem that tie in with the poet's cultural background. Context of the poem means how do the words relate to this poem? And the other word was significance. Significance just means what is the importance? So those are 5 additional questions that you can work on as preparation for the exam.